I'm going to go ahead and get started on at least getting the preliminary stuff done. So, welcome. My name is Stephen Barris, better known, at least on Arena, as ExParrot. Pardon while I take a sip of my tea. I've been sick for the past couple of days, so I'm not sure how much energy I'm going to have for this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway, and we'll see what happens. So, this week, they're offering sealed Dominaria. Now, sealed deck isn't necessarily my most favorite format. Drafting is, but I do like limited in general, so I'm really thinking I'm going to go ahead and do the sealed Dominaria draft to see what happens. It's a 2,000 gem draft, and so in order to hit the break-even point, you have to get 6 wins. I'm guessing these are going to be best of 1. Third loss knocks you out. So, I am recording this video. It will go on my YouTube channel up after the stream is done. You can find that YouTube channel by searching for ExParrot42. You'll also find my other Magic the Gathering Arena videos that I've done, and any new videos that I have coming down the pipe in the future, so feel free to subscribe, follow, like, whatever. 728, I think it's close enough. I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. Alright, so let's see what my rares are. 2 Tashar, Ancient Apostle. 1 Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. Sulphur Falls, that's nice. I think I need another one of those. Rite of Binzalok is not necessarily spectacular, but it's not a bad creature. The thing is, with Tashar and Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, there's already something there. So let's take a look at the rest of it. So, generally what I try and do whenever I'm building a sealed deck is I go and sort by colors. In a normal, like say a pre-release event, I don't even look at the individual cards. I'm sorting them out by color right off the bat. Just boom, 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 in various piles on the table. Then I'm going to go through each color and see if it looks like I have playables. So we have Sarah Disciple, which continues the whole historic. Board the Weatherlight continues historic. Knight of Dominaria is not bad. Macy Unicorn is playable. Dub's not bad. Sergeant at Arms I could deal with. Aven Sentry. On Sarah's Wings is nice. My white looks okay. I mean, I can't really complain about it too badly. Kind of glance at blue. Blue is weak. I think I can safely say blue is right out. At best, splashing for divination or opt. So 2 Vicious Offering makes it more and more likely that I'm going to go into white-black. Kaliko Skin Witch. Fungal Infections. Of course, Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. And I'd probably play Light of Belzenlock as well, although I don't have a ton of creatures. I don't have, like, token generation. Let's go check out the multicolored stuff here. I've got artifacts. Cabal Stronghold's right out. I'm not going to be playing Cabal Stronghold. Alright, so let's go back. One Adamant Will. I might even take Board the Weatherlight. We'll go ahead and throw it in. And 2 Eviscerates. Oh my god, my black is just ridiculous. So yeah, I'm gonna throw everything in, which is what I usually do in this kind of situation, is just throw it all in and then make cuts. So yeah, you can already tell I'm tired because my commentary is just not there at the moment. Give me a minute to try and get into the swing of things. God, I really think I may drop the wall, even though it is an artifact and therefore historic spell. At 4 mana, it's not like it can come down real early. At 4 mana, there's a lot more I'd like to be doing. Sparring Construct plus Tashar could be real interesting. Especially if I combine it with Valid Omnivore. Obviously, it's not an ideal, but one of the things you want to look for is little tricks like that. Now, the thing is that I'm not necessarily seeing anything that makes me say, man, I need to play Board the Weatherlight. And Tiana is tempting to try and splash for, or even Rona, Disciple of Gix. But without the mana fixing, it's going to be a lot harder. Alright, what am I going to do here? I got to cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I've got a lot of non-creature spells in here. So we're going to drop Adamant Will as a combat trick. Short Sword I will keep because it's just handy. I think I'll get rid of Dub as well, which is probably a mistake, but I'm hoping for Sarah's Wings to really carry me home. I think we'll get rid of the Excavation Elephant, because Feral Abominations cost 1 more and is a lot more useful, the card. I'm also going to try and keep myself at 17 lands, because ordinarily I'll usually cut a land, go to 16. That can cause me some issues. So let's see. My brain is not firing in all cylinders, which is not going to work too well for playing this, but that's alright. It's really almost tempting to drop 1 Feral Abomination and a land, because I'm going to cut my mana curve down a bit. Like, I want to make sure I get to 4, but past that I'm not going to need too many more. I am not cutting any kill spells, because just no. And yes, the Yawgmoth's Vile Offering does count. Of course, legendary-wise, I've only got 2 Tashars. That may make it... Well, I have on Sarah's Wings. I think you have a legendary creature or planeswalker. So I may end up actually having to drop that because I'm not going to be able to consistently play it. Oh well, let's go with this. I always play a pretty loose game in limited. Kick over to OBS on my other screen real quick, make sure everything's looking good there. It appears to be. All right, so we are underway. This Nutrito? I don't know. Wow, this is not exactly the kind of hand I want to keep, but because I'm a fool, I'll keep it anyway. If I hit land 3, I got Sergeant of Arms, I could drop Urza's Tome. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop the Urza's Tome. I want to see if I can draw another land, because I like keeping Caligo Skin Witch until I can kick it at the same time for 6, and then you really just hit your opponent's hand hard, and it's worth taking the extra point of damage. Ordinarily, it's be another situation where it'd be like, yeah, I'm going to go for 6 mana and get the Sergeant of Arms down with Kicker, but now I'd rather have a blocker in play. And if I can get Sarah's Wings on it as well, the 3/4 Flying Vigilance Lifelink, it becomes an incredible setup. Now, the Journey Mage is a bit of a pain in my butt. I'm going to go ahead and pass turn. I can always drop Fungal Infection on the Journey Mage and then block it with the Saproling token. He decided not to attack, so I'm going to go ahead and activate the Urza's Tome to draw a card. And then looks like I'm actually going to discard the Caligo Skin Witch. I really want to land is what I want. See, this is why you don't go to 16. Meanwhile, my opponent has no difficulties with land. Biggest problem is once I get to the land, I'm going to have so many cards to cast. Oh, that's got to be eviscerated. No attack still. Very conservative opponent. So we'll go ahead and draw. Discard the Sparring Construct. Still not drawn to a land. So Halar Firefletcher is going to be causing me some pain here until I can eviscerate it. I could kill it with straight up Vicious Offering by sacking the Sergeant of Arms, but then I leave myself with an empty board. I'd rather not do that. Grow from the Ashes with the Kicker, that's going to hurt. So Halar's going to go to a 4/4. They're going to get 2 basic lands to put them on the battlefield, which is going to thin their deck down even more. We'll see if they have a pump spell that they can utilize. Nope. There's a land, finally. Let's go ahead and eviscerate, and I'll be back in the game again. I think, barring any other issues, Tashar can come down next turn, then every time I'm casting a historic spell, Well, it appears they'll be taking control of my Sergeant of Arms for a turn and doing me some damage. Alright, so I'm going to play it safe. Instead, I'm going to cast Sarah Disciple because it is a first striker, and I'll leave up the mana for Vicious Offering. Now, it would be nice to draw a couple extra land. It's got to happen sooner or later. That's a bad thing. Why do I suspect there's a trick at play here? Let's see. Either they don't realize Sarah Disciple is first strike, which I doubt, or I'm going to get to block it and then Vicious Offering, sacking the Sarah Disciple to kill a Steel Leaf. Oop, cancel. Target them. Choose to sacrifice my creature. So he gets no advantage really out of that. I will go ahead and drop to Shar. Now I can start trying to do things, assuming they don't have a way to kill off Tashar. Like that. They got a very decent Wizards base set up for their deck. Oh, they got all the Wizards for their deck. That's ridiculous. I gotta try and limit some of the damage, so probably would have been better off with on Sarah's wings on my creature and just attacking back to get rid of some of the get some lifelink. Assuming the Feral Abomination survives the turn, I can certainly start doing that. Memorial to Unity, okay. "22 cards left in the deck. 10 of them are land. So the chances of me drawing land from here on are getting pretty good. I get an S tier glider. No swing. Interesting. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. On Sarah's wings. Effects, legendaries, and sagas are historic. Six in the air. With lifelink. And vigilance. And death touch. That puts me in a much better position in this game. They are now choosing to go all out. I'll take the risk. I mean, I got a block. If they got a pump spell, it's going to make things bad for me. In fact, they'll probably win the game, but, you know, what else can I do? So they're going to deal 3 damage to it, then the Firefist Step will finish it off. But I'll gain 6 life off of the lifelink, and I'll still be in the game. Their sealed deck turned out to be pretty darn nice, if I do say so myself. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of On Sarah's wings. And there comes the land, as we expected. Yeah, we'll go to 9. Wow, okay. Yes, I know, it was gonna happen. Told myself when I started it that Urza's Tome was going to, or that I was going to draw a lot of land because there wasn't many left in the deck. On the other hand, I'm down to just 6 lands in the deck and 11 non-lands. Oh, that's bad. Vigilance and Trample, and when it dies, they can just equip it to somebody else. Do they have another combat spell in their hand? If so, they just pulled every perfect draw they could ever want. Go to 4. Neither of these fly, making them rather unimportant in the scheme of things. Decline, discard a planes, and game. Well, his seal pull was pretty impressive. Their seal pull, excuse me. Alright, second round against Robs. Currently 0-1 in a long game. You know, I didn't see the rest of my removal. That would have been nice to see some more removal. So it may just not be my night. They may be just like, no, sorry, we're not going to give you anything useful here. And the Knight of Grace, perfectly protected against Vicious Offering. Gonna need a bigger creature out there, and since I'm only drawing white land, that's gonna make things a little bit difficult. Wow. Okay. Apparently, Arena has decided that I am not going to win a game tonight. Of course, being tired does not help matters any because I'm more likely to get irritated over this stuff. And the worst problem is if I drop the Salad Omnivore, it's just going to make the Knight of Grace bigger. So rather than take the extra damage, I'll just not, I guess. Pass priority already. Play or get off the game. Seriously, people. Well, Sergeant of Arms creates a perfect blocker for the Knight of Grace, assuming they don't have some way of killing it off. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and block. I can drop Feral Abomination next turn, and it's gonna just thumb its nose at the Knight of Grace. Suddenly, my opponent doesn't have a way to deal with things. It's amazing. That's what happens when you burn through all of your stuff in the first few turns of the game and leave yourself nothing for the long game. Well, there's a Tashar. I'm actually going to draw on my turn. It flies. Your knights can't block it. Start doing some damage. Put them on a 4-turn timer here. So even Sentry will get sealed away, which is just fine with me. I have no historic cards in the graveyard, so anything I would draw would be immediately discarded. The Glider can't block anyway, so there's hardly, oh, excuse me, a reason for me to worry about them. And they decided not to attack with Tashar, because I have a card in hand. Wow. This is why I cut down to 16 land, is to prevent this kind of thing from happening on a regular basis. However, despite this, I seem to be drawing literally all of the land in my deck. I'm up to 9 in play and on my hand, 3 in the graveyard, which means I literally have 4 lands left in a 20-card deck. Go figure. The only advantage to this being that I will actually be able to draw, spells here pretty soon. Well, I can kick the Caligo Skin Witch, which is nice. Because it'll strip the remaining 2 cards out of their hand. Which is a land and Daragaz Reincarnated. Okay. We'll go back to attacking again. I think 5 versus 2 is a much better setup for me. Yep, they're going to go ahead and block. Which again is just fine. Maybe I'll have a chance to turn this game around, even with a 7-7 that doesn't trample hitting the board. I mean, I have the Feral Abomination. Worst comes to worst. If I could draw like Eviscerate or something, then we're talking. Sarah Disciple is hardly going to help me at this point. But Vicious Offering will. I could always kill the Sparring Construct to reduce that Baloth Gorger down to something much more reasonable in size. They whiffed on their Board the Weatherlight. Oh, yeah, target creature I control to put the counter on. Now I've turned my glider into a 3/2, and with Tashar I can bring back the Sparring Construct. So after my deck decided to give me all of my land at once, I somehow managed to get past that and get to the point where I can actually play a little Magic. Well, that's a 10-10. That's going to get blocked by a Feral Abomination. Thankfully, it doesn't trample. Okay. So I can draw one of my 2 Eviscerates that are still left in the deck. I decline, discard the planes. We'll keep Tashar on the off chance I need to bring him back. Yep, expected an Alpha Strike. So we're going to go ahead and block. Feral Abomination will take that one out. 1/3 can block that pretty easily. That can block there. That can block there. And I don't take lethal. Unless they've got a major pump spell in hand. Nope. They're going to hit my Feral Abomination for 4, which doesn't do any good. Okay, that was a close game. Alright, so 1-1. Remember, I gotta get the 6 for when I hit the break even. Must not be too many people queued up for this event tonight. Usually doesn't take this long to find a game. Oh, one thing I did want to mention to all you out there who don't follow Magic on the social media for some reason, they in they're announcing what they were planning on doing with esports and getting into it, they also did a code for Magic Arena. So you can go to the store portion and enter a code down at the bottom. The code is Game Awards, one word, and it nets you a bunch of useful cards for your deck. Or for any deck, really. You get one Cleansing Nova, which is probably the best sweeper around right now. One Galta Primal Hunger for you green stompy lovers. One Risk Factor, which is a great red card. One Search for Azcanta, which is like one of the best blue enchantments around, period. One Vraska's Contempt, one of the best removal spells in existence. 4 Conclave Tribunals, 4 Eldest Reborn, 4 Lava Coils, 4 Merfolk Branchwalker, 4 Sinister Sabotage. So that code again is Game Awards, one word, doesn't have to be caps or whatever. I recommend if you're starting out on Arena, go do it. It'll get you a lot of very useful staple cards. Alright, so back to the game. They start out with a Llanowar and a Skittering Surveyor. Surveyor being a pretty decent card. Honestly, a lot of people at first were like, man, 3 mana for 1/2 that finds a land. But as Dominaria began to develop and they began to see how the environment worked, it really moved up a lot on the list. There's a Baloth Gorger. Yay me. It may well gorge itself on me. I think I'll go ahead and take one. Let's go ahead and equip the Knight. Worst comes to worst, I can go ahead and just block the Baloth Gorger. Or I can take 4 and next turn play Eviscerate and kill it. But the thing I'm worried about is who knows what worse things they have. Well, never mind. I'll be eviscerating it next turn. The advantage of that being at least it'll get the power off the field. They'll be left with just a pair of weak creatures. So if they don't have much else in the way of power, I'm going to be able to start dropping some creatures and applying some pressure back. I do need to go ahead and stabilize my board, though. So I'm thinking Thallid Omnivore will be the best play next turn. It's a 3/3. If I draw a land, I can also equip the short sword. And boy, do I wish I had Eviscerate again. This may be a very quick concession on my part. We'll see. Yeah, that was not... Okay, so change of plans. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Even Sentry. Equip it with a sword. If I drop the Thallid Omnivore, then I can go ahead and double block Muldrotha to kill it. But I suspect they're not going to swing into it when they know very well that I'll just, prevent it. That's one of those bomb rares you pull, and if you can get it into play, you're set. There comes the Gorger out of the graveyard. Yeah, I don't have a chance. I'm at 6 life. Even if I can block Muldrotha one turn, there's still 6 damage left of creatures on the board. And then, so if I block 2 creatures, I'm just delaying the inevitable. So, 1 and 2. Let's see if maybe I can rip off 6 wins in a row. Doesn't seem too likely. I know I have low casting cost creatures more than this. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan. Scry to the bottom. The sort of thing your opponent wants you to see you do. Mull to 6 and scry to the bottom. Or just mulligan in general and scry to the bottom. Well, at least Terra's Disciple works against the Knight. Another one of those games where I have to get to 4 mana before my deck will let me do anything, and I'll draw all my cheap stuff late in the game when I don't need it. Opponent wisely decided that maybe it was not in their best interest to attack me. Problem is if I attack, then they could just crack back. Yeah, I'm better off just leaving the Sarah Disciple up as a blocker. I'm not sure why they're attacking, but they got... I assume they had a reason. Was it a bluff? Because if so, that was a really terrible bluff. Yeah, oops. They clicked through their turn by accident, I bet. I'm going to sucker the Cabal Paladin into a fungal infection with any luck. I don't know that my opponent will... Yeah, they went for it. Come on, buddy. Imp Laser, you have to know that a person who deliberately lets a 4/2 come through has got a trick up their sleeve. Still not seeing land number 4. When I do, I'll be able to start doing some stuff. Until then, I have them on an 8-turn clock. That's bad. Well, she has first strike. So does my Sarah Disciple. between the two, no, don't be looking that hard at my. Really, really. I mean, I can't argue with the results, but really. All right, I need a land. There's a land. Let's start with Valid Omnivore. I'm going to hold back Eviscerate until I know what kind of a target I'm looking at. Oh, what does my opponent have in hand? Oh, awesome. A 6/4 first striker. This is why we have Eviscerate. Did you mean to attack with Danitha? Yes, you did. Alright. Good to know. Say goodbye to your Cabal Paladin. One advantage, at least being mana screwed so early, is my opponent's almost out. When will I stop saying my opponent's almost out of gas when it's clear that they have things like that? Well, apparently, my sealed pull was crap. That's honestly all I can figure. I'm seeing just bomb after bomb from people. I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to get salty if I keep this up. No Binzalock, no huge bombs. Just terrible set. Wasted 2,000 gems. I end up with 400 gems back, so it cost me 1,600 total. Let's open up the 3 packs and see what I get. At least they'll push me towards wild cards. There's an uncommon. I need more uncommon wild cards. I don't really play dragons, but okay. Rare wild card I'm good with. Making this less of a waste of my time and gems. Okay, between all the wild cards I got, I'm good. Real quick, underneath the store, down here is where you redeem the code for Game Awards, I believe was what I said it was. Well, that was a really quick 50 minutes, actually. Tell you what, I have a Singleton deck. Real quick, I'm going to go ahead and run a Singleton event. I have a Dimir aggro style Singleton deck. So let's go ahead and do this. I don't know what I'm going to spend my wild cards on. Actually, I know my rare. I need to pick up a set of Dire Fleet Daredevils. Not so much for Big Red, because I really don't like that deck at all. But I think a couple ideas I have, it'll be useful. So Singleton, for people who aren't familiar with it, as you can tell by my arena tracker on the left-hand side, opening up, is a format where you only can play one of any given card except for basic lands. And this is not exactly a great hand. Not much better, but it's least playable. And I do have my Thief of Sanity. I love Thief of Sanity. Let me guess. Jeskai Control? There seem to be a lot of people who just take Jeskai Control and throw it into Singleton because they don't like having fun. That's what it's awful looking like, though. I'm not a huge control person, and Jeskai Control in Standard right now feels like you're saying, I don't want to have fun, but I don't want you to have fun either. And it looks like they may just be playing Is It? I'm going to go ahead and run out the Seeker Squire in hopes to maybe pull out the counterspell there. I'm going to go ahead and keep that Anticipate. Anything that gives me more card draw is a good thing. Alright, so I need a good game or two of Singleton in order to cut down my salt level here. And here comes Rekindling Phoenix. Let's see, I do have Roska's Contempt in the deck, if I can find it. I'm hoping Thief of Sanity will make them reluctant to attack with Rekindling Phoenix. I don't know that'll be the case. Oh, excuse me, the case. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and swing. No blockers. They may have another blocker to put up right after second main. Or they got a Banefire for Thief of Sanity, you know. That works too. I think I will drop Whisper Agent on my turn because they've only got a single blue up, so I know I can land it safely and stack my next card and get some pressure on the board. Pressure is going to be the one way I'm going to race the Rekindling Phoenix here. I'm going to go ahead and surveil that to the graveyard. It's not going to do me much good right now. I'm not worried about direct kill spells. Scrying to the bottom and taking so long to get roped. Ugh. Must have been a really hard decision to make. Crackling Drake, son of a gun. I can't argue with the Drakes and Phoenixes. Go ahead and anticipate end of turn. Take the Disinformation Campaign. Any extra card draw is not going to hurt right now. Plus, stripping cards out of their hand isn't a bad thing either. I get the Nightveil Predator, which is actually pretty decent here. 3/3 Flying Death Touch Hexproof can deal with the Cackling Drake quite effectively. They finally decide on Expansion Explosion. For obvious reasons, I will have no attackers. Of course, the problem is I got a land Nightveil Predator, and if they've got counter magic, that's going to make it tricky. When I played this in a Singleton challenge in the middle of the week, whenever it was they had the first set of Singleton challenges, I actually went straight 5-0, 6-0, whatever it was with it. This time, there seems to be some stiffer competition. Or I'm just drawing really bad cards. And they're drawing really good cards. Well, you know what? You get game one. You're taking forever to play. And you're actually playing a Jeskai control variant based on Revitalize. Seriously, people, if you're going to play a control deck, you're already irritating your opponent enough. Just freaking play the cards. And another crappy opening hand. What in the world tonight? I couldn't buy a decent hand. I can't believe I'm actually going to keep the land on top. I'm even going to play it first turn. Adonto Vanguard. Gotta love the Adonto Vanguard. Or, actually, no, you don't. I'm going to go ahead and drop this to Scry 2, plus gives me blocker against the Vanguard. You have to click Resolve. You have an ability you can utilize. I'm going to Scry one land to the bottom. I'm going to keep the other land on top. Now, if they attack with the Adano Vanguard, I will go ahead and block. Because then if they want to save their Adano Vanguard, basically I'm trading Omen Speaker for 4 life. That's one of the reasons I'm not big on Adano Vanguard these days, is I've seen so many players end up putting themselves down to low life totals trying to save an Adano Vanguard for no reason. Especially against burn decks. It's just ridiculous against burn decks. I don't remember which pro, if it was Luis Salvato or one of the other ones, who said that he didn't like playing Adano Vanguard because it was a terrible blocker. And he's right, it's a terrible, terrible blocker. And if your opponent has any kind of an offense, or a defense rather, it's a terrible attacker. It's just, at least, fallen out of favor to me. Well, Rosemane Centaur. At some point, I'll be able to take their best creature within Bolas's clutches. I'm not going to opt because I already know what the top card is, and it's something I want. Now we're going to go ahead and drop it, even though I'm going to take some damage from the Rosemane Centaur. I get a land. They drop Lidev Champion. They're playing Selesnya something or another. That'll give me the 5 lands. Put me 1 away from In Bolas's clutches. But, really? Yeah. You know, when I won all those games with this deck before, is because I actually drew creatures. Believe it or not. If you can actually read the stuff on the left-hand side, you can see I'm running a lot of creatures. And a fair amount of controlling stuff that kills creatures and such that I'm simply not seeing. Well, they don't have mana up to protect it. That's when I'm going to go ahead and cast this. Ritual of Soot is good. Swamp is good. Wow, okay. I'm going to take the Ritual of Soot. Because I can cast it next turn. I think I should have had the Swamp next. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered either way. But I don't want to opt now because I do want the Ritual of Soot, and I want the cards underneath Ritual of Soot, I believe. And that sucks even worse. This is going to make things very difficult for me because Ritual of Soot isn't going to necessarily kill what I want it to kill. Now I actually want the other land. So, we're going to get rid of Ritual of Soot because it's not as useful in order to draw the swamp, and then in Bolas's clutch is the Angel of Dawn. Of course, it's tapped at the moment. It won't untap till next turn, but I'm just going to have to take the hit. Not the Llanowar Elves as well. Interesting. So let's go ahead and strip their hand. Play that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get rid of that. We're going to surveil the island down because I don't need it. Well, maybe I'll start being able to get something going here. I'm going to have to block the Venerated Loxodon with the Angel. That leaves me just the Adano Vanguard to have to deal with. Ugh. This Prime Archer Aspirant at least doesn't have flying at the moment. Moment of Craving would be like the best choice right now for a card. Thief of Sanity really isn't it, but I don't think I have any other choice. In fact, I just don't have an out. This is not my night for Magic. This really isn't. So 0-2. See if I get anything good off the cards. Experimental Frenzy's not bad. Well, I got time. I'll do one more with the Singleton deck. I know I could build another Singleton deck real quick, but I like playing Dimir. I'm looking at this list on the left-hand side, and there was so much removal I could have drawn to help me in that last game. So much. I could have drew one of it right there. Hostage Taker, Connive would have been great for stealing one of their creatures. I'm going to go ahead and save it for Opt. We will keep Vraska's Contempt on top because it'll come handy down the road. Put a blocker into play. Well, I'm guessing Vraska's Contempt. Yep. Once they, finally decided they actually had to pick one of them. Alright, so everybody knows how the stack works, right? Explorer triggers go on the stack, allowing me to kill the Jade Light Ranger before the Explorer triggers resolve and make it bigger. And they drew 2 lands anyway. Which still isn't a bad thing for them. They've guaranteed their next 2 draws aren't going to be bad. I think I can take 1 damage. I really don't want to have to Hostage Taker the Kitesail Freebooter. I mean, it would give me back the Vraska's Contempt, but it just feels like it's such a waste of Hostage Taker. Well, Vraska's Contempt it is. They got a handful of great cards. I'd rather steal the Underrealm Lich given the choice. Finality is going to be a pain. No matter how I look at it. So what do we got? Okay, about to say if they don't start leading stuff out, I know they're going for finality. Izareth the Awakener. See, there's another one that would be fantastic to take. Taking out their Vraska's Contempt at least lets me know that I can keep one of myself from being exiled. I really don't want to let the Thorn Lieutenant through. There's Izareth. Izareth is how much? 3? Well, this does actually force the hand of my opponents. Because if they want Izareth back, they're going to have to cast Finality, which wipes their board as well and gets me back my Vraska's Contempt, which can deal with Izareth or the Underrealm Lich. That's assuming they have the next land necessary. Well, or they just play the Ravenous Chupacabra they have in hand. Well, I can concoct it back. Let's do it again. So saith Squee. Flavor text for Time Warp. Way back in Tempest, I believe? They're at 5 lands. They actually can't cast Finality yet. Oh my lord, are you kidding me? You know, I would really love to play a game of Magic tonight where I have all the answers. I know it seems like a crazy idea. I guess one solution to that is quit playing crappy decks, but seriously, I've got a handful of answers right over here on the left-hand side, and I have not seen any of them. Are you planning on attacking? This is not difficult. You know, that kind of slow play right there is what gets people reported. Seriously, you have 3 cards in hand. It's not real hard to realize you can only cast one of them, so the only choice left is, do I cast it or not? If you cannot understand that, you don't need to be playing Magic. Seriously, I have seen judges call slow play on people for less than that. Oh, good lord. Yeah, draw all your answers. There, you win. Congratulations, Magic. My opponent drew literally every removal spell in their deck, every control spell in their deck, and I drew dead again. For, I don't know, what is this, the 8th game in a row? This is the worst streak of luck I've had in an arena in a while. Oh, total session. 1 win, 6 losses. Fine, whatever. I'll just take it. Sooner I lose, sooner I get out of this event. What am I worried about the most? Cast down right now. Playcraft really doesn't bother me much. Essence Scatter, well, if I don't cast any creatures for a while. Mission Briefing can get back cast down or what have you, but not immediately. Let's see if they drew a counterspell. If they did, it may be absolute resignation right now because the amount of sheer luck my opponents are getting would be off the charts. They discarded mission briefing. They drew their own disinformation campaign. I'm going to discard in Bolus's clutches. Does me no good right now. They don't have the mana to counter the Midnight Reaper, so I can land it. This is why they need to move to a chess clock system, like they have an MTGO. And before they really can move to the pro, I mean, this kind of pausing right there would be an embarrassment if it was live and they were streaming this to millions of people worldwide. You'd be like, really? This is Magic? And I got the luck this time and actually drew my Chupacabra for once. Opponent is flooding out, it looks like, on land. Let's go ahead and drop the top-bound Phantasm. If they want to use their Essence Scatter, they can get rid of it on a weak creature. If I had another blue mana, I could actually mission briefing for my thought erasure and take another card out of their hand. Thinking I'll want to Whisper Agent end of turn. Probably run it straight out into an Essence Scatter. Or maybe not. That's going to get contempted. That's just too big of a creature for me to have to deal with. Just going to reorder those. We're going to pick Thought Erasure in my graveyard. Opponent apparently has something they can do, but are not clicking the resolve. Ah, they're clicking concede for some reason. I like my second win of the night. That's something. I came up against another Dimir deck. So one win. Let's see, break-even point for this event is, what, 3 wins? Cost 1,500 gold to get in, I think. So if I can somehow make that, I'll be satisfied. This is the first hand I have had that could actually curve a little bit. And I'm actually seeing removal. Did I work through my streak of bad luck finally? Well, hell. There goes the Midnight Reaper. Yeah. Should have expected that one. Let's go ahead and play Nightveil Sprite, a creature I think, honestly, is a little underrated. Because that Surveil 1 effect every turn can be pretty powerful if left unchecked. And some opponents won't waste a removal spell on it because they think it's just too weak, it's only 1 damage. There's Disinformation Campaign. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hope they surveil next turn, and I can untap and thought erasure the information campaign straight out of their hand. Because if I can thought erasure, it makes them discard it. It takes them their card draw engine right out. Interesting. They may be plotting and planning for that. Okay, about to say, where's the damage? This is very odd on my opponent's part. They keep checking their disinformation campaign, highlighting it, but I'm not sure why. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can run out Sinister Sabotage. Don't need that. I really don't need another land right now. So, surveil both of them. In turn. They look at information, disinformation campaign again, and then move on to their turn. Hostage Taker. Yeah. That's a card. I don't need them having it. I'm just going to go ahead and kill it. I suppose I could have waited for them to go ahead and cast the spell. But this works too. I'm not going to cast Doom Whisperer yet. Something's up. They're going to swing for 2. Why don't I have Karn in my deck? I have a couple of them. Well, so much for that. Glad I didn't run my Doom Whisperer out. I'm going to go ahead and give up and run out the Thought Erasure and see what they've got in hand here. Like, say, Chromium the Mutable, it needs to go away. They'll be able to blink of an eye my Doom Whisperer back to my hand and attempt to syncopate it later. They can have Ravenous Chupacabra in their exile zone. Go an eye. Decided to go ahead and kick it. Makes sense. I don't know if they were counting, deciding if they had enough left to syncopate after. I should have freaking surveilled, and I didn't. You want to syncopate that for 3? I got the mana to prevent it. Bye-bye, Hostage Shaker. Of course, now the syncopates can be a problem, with Karn getting more and more annoying and providing more and more card advantage. Which one are they going to get back? Sinister Sabotage? Yep. That pretty much guarantees Doom Whisper's never hitting the board again. Eldest Reborn is a great draw. I don't know how I'm ever going to land it against the counter magic. If they're a control deck, I have no idea what their actual win condition is at the moment. Was it Chromium? Because the Chromium's in the graveyard now. If I could somehow stick Eldest Reborn, if my opponent could figure out how to, or unless they're casting that cover-up, Devious cover-up. Yep, that'll do it. Alright, I've had a terrible night of Magic. I'm cutting my losses here. I'll pick it up some other night. Let's see what my paltry rewards are. Glorifier of Dusk. Deep-Root Elite. 750 gold means I wasn't really fully out, but yeah. Alright, thanks for putting up with me for a night. Hopefully I'll be feeling better by next week and we'll have a better run at things. I stream every Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I stream at other times whenever I have the time or feel like it. So go ahead and follow me on Twitch if you're interested. Again, this video will be going up on my YouTube channel. Search for ExParrot42. Thanks for watching.